Oh God!
Stop flying, stop flying! Hello, I am Dansan Dusaka, and you're Oldboy 19.
I am Oldboy 19.
And if anyone was watching this, then they obviously now think they're you. Nice to see that we're sowing the seeds of chaos and confusion. So, you've been very kind to me and acquired this thing, and I have loaded it up in front of me. And as far as I can tell so far, it is a form of Viva Pinata. We're going to be growing nice cherry blossom trees.
It is scrap mechanic, and it is a giant sandbox where you can apparently build pretty much anything as long as they've given you the components to do it.
Like a boat. You know how much I've always wanted a boat.
I'm sure we could find water and try and build a boat. I haven't actually looked at boats yet. What I've mostly been looking at, as you can see over here, is engines and wheels.
Engines and wheels. Can I just stop you just for a second? And
Yeah.
Are we dwarves?
I think that is a distinct possibility. I haven't actually checked which character generator I clicked on before I came in. Tell me, have I got blonde hair and pigtails?
You've got blonde hair and a ponytail. I didn't actually go through any form of character generator whatsoever. I just hit click join you in game, so I have no idea what I look like.
Short, ginger,
Sorry,
stocky.
I look at you and I see you trying to look from behind me. I keep turning to face you. Short, ginger, and
you have
I am a dwarf Ed
sort of-
Sheeran.
But that is a distinct possibility. You do have a rather fetching Karate Kid headband.
Oh, I have a manual. Oh, I like that.
Yes, and the manual is brilliant because it gives you an explanation of roughly what you're doing and then how to build. And this is how I built the car so quickly when I played this last night.
Let me stop you right there. I am a professional engineer. I do not need this manual. How do I throw it away?
You can take it out of your inventory by pressing I and dragging something different into the slot. You will find that you have things like triggers, controllers for said triggers so that you can fire off the triggers in order, and things like logic gates. So I'm hoping this is going to have a lot of potential for building truly hilarious contraptions. So this is the first car that I built that you're now looking at. It doesn't have any steering and it is jet propelled. I should warn you.
I love it already. We just need to build a track for it. And I look at my head. Oh, that's not good.
It's okay. It's okay. They crash a lot. Let me come and pick you up because my other invention does have steering.
It also doesn't have reverse. It's a bit like Pathfinder. They got stuck on the moon. That's not. I'm just using my manual over and over here. Let me.
Okay.
There we go. Oh dear. Oh dear. That was. This game's in alpha, beta.
It's in what Steam calls early access. Now, whether that is alpha code or beta, I haven't really bothered to read up yet. I just got kind of excited by the prospect of being able to build everything and anything.
I fully agree with that. I think it's a correct level of excitement to have.
Now, this, as you can see, has four-wheel drive, but because the engine is mounted in the back, it has a slight tendency to rear up on its back wheels above a certain speed. It also steers by method of sort of throwing the back end out and then drifting.
It's a nice steering method. Oh, what's that over there? We've got a tower. It looks like a radio tower.
A tower. I haven't actually been near any of the scenery yet.
Right. Let's go investigate the scenery.
Hi-ho Silver.
It kind of makes me Tonto at this point, I think.
Sadly, that makes me Kimosabi, and I'm not translating that for our younger audience members. Okay. Well, we're a lot closer. You can just press E to exit.
Okay.
It's not Minecraft. There are no fatal injuries in this game. It's alright, I'll just pick it up and put it on a lift, and we'll jack it up in case we need to do any repairs.
That's,
Ooh. Well, this is an interesting piece of scenery. It's a landing pad. Oh, wow. Now, one of the other things that is in the builder kit is thruster engines. You saw there was one on the back of the first car that I built.
I used it a lot, yes.
But that you can also have the thrusters angled downwards to generate lift. So you can build flying contraptions. So...
Okay. So let's pause here for a moment. I say pause here. Let us maybe just cut to the next moment where we have built something, because I'm sure our viewers won't want to watch us just like being
milling around aimlessly,
being terrible at building. And we will cut back in approximately 1 second with the whoosh sound happening now. So we're back already, and we haven't actually built anything, but we've had a plan for this episode, which is to do you want to explain it, or?
Yeah, sure. We're going to build a run-up and a ramp, and we're going to take it in turns to, well, we're both going to construct vehicles, and we're going to have a sort of somewhere between ground and air drag race to see, first of all, whether anyone can actually manage to get up the ramp, and assuming we get up the ramp, how far we can get a car to fly.
Fly, strong word.
Travel.
Before it lands and crashes.
Yes.
Okay. And there is a ramp in the game, which you have found here.
Yeah.
Do you want to give your car a very quick run?
Yeah, I will just quickly see if it's possible to... Oops, that's not quite where I wanted to build it.
So we're not worried about steering?
No, it is literally just straight line charge. Who can achieve the most air, if you'll forgive the expression.
And there also are some... We might spend a little bit of time making the floor, I guess, because there are actually some interesting path-type blocks, which we can use as a floor. There's loads of cool stuff in here. And a cucumber box. That could be handy. Let's go to the manual. Let's see if we can make it over this pile of cucumbers.
Yeah, ultimate plan was to see if I could get the ramp a bit higher, but I will worry about that in a minute with construction ramps and stuff. For now, let's just see roughly what happens.
Cucumbers. I am going to stack cucumbers everywhere. Oh,
let's just see roughly what happens if you rush a vehicle at this ramp.
Do you feel like one of those crash test dummies?
I think the crash test dummies probably feel marginally safer than us, but we will have to see.
Giant sticks in our backpack, which will really help us when we
inevitably crash to our deaths. Yes. Right. As I say, this thing has a tendency to sort of fly off course without me touching the steering and rear up on its back wheels, despite the fact that it is four-wheel drive. Probably because all of the power plant is in the back and it's back heavy. But
I believe the phrase is "I'm a stallion, baby."
Yes. See what I mean? It's just completely veered off course for no reason.
That rocket ship you got.
Yes, I think possibly.
Is it because of torque?
I think it probably is because of torque. All of the wheels are configured to spin in the same direction, so that isn't the problem.
So if it always spins to the left, I guess it's... I'm going to have to take this apart and work out how you've done this, because I've not built anything, so I'm at a disadvantage here.
If you see the tool on the far right of your toolbar, it looks kind of like a crashed satellite.
Yes.
Right. That gives you a breakdown of how the mechanics work. So you can see all four wheels are connected to the engine, and the steering system is connected to the engine, so you have thrust, and then the steering system is connected to the two bearings on the front wheels, so that you have a crude, it's not a rack and pinion, but it is a crude steering system.
So get on. I'm sure it'll work fine. I'm sure I haven't done anything there.
Okay, wait a minute. If you've reversed any of the wheels, it really will go round in circles. Yeah, I thought so.
Fine.
Yeah, I would imagine that would make forwards backwards and backwards forwards, although I've never actually tried that one. If you have it wrong on the steering, then left is right and right is left, and that is potentially very uncomfortable.
Okay, off you go.
Right. No, as I say, it just doesn't want to travel in a straight line. But, oh god!
Okay.
Oh god, hit and run! Abandon the vehicle and run away! I was never here, nobody saw me. Yep.
Okay, got it. I understand now.
Yep.
Right. So we're going to build some vehicles. We're going to drive them up this ramp. We're going to build ones which either don't need steering or will just work naturally, and then we're going to furthest wins, I guess. So we're going to again click pause this and be back in another whoosh. Okay, and we're back. And as you can see, we've been working really, really hard on building vehicles, and not at all having great fun building these bays of construction list. Now, very quickly, these things here are very important, aren't they?
Yes, because I didn't notice that there was actually a shelving unit in the inventory, and I went ahead and built little plinths for us to put trophies on.
So every time we do this, one of us obviously will be a winner, and one of us will obviously be a loser, and it's the job of the winner to always rub it in the face. So we're going to put our trophies, and what are we going to play for this time?
I'm not even sure.
Shall we go for the rubber duck?
I think the rubber duck actually sounds like a good place to start.
So this thing here is what we're playing for. Trophy number 1, the rubber ducky. And the winner will get to put it in there. Now, I've already put it on my side because obviously that's where it's going to be staying.
Challenge accepted.
So we just described the last way too long of our lives. You spent most of that time building a vehicle, and I spent most of the time building this. Now, I want to just point out how happy I am with this. That little bit of logic here. You flick this switch, and then it goes deep, 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 beep, and notice the red lights go out as well. And I'm very, very happy with that. I think my time was well spent. There was a bit of disco light that went on in the process.
It did get very reach for the lasers for a little while. It was quite beautiful.
And then I spent about 20 seconds putting together my car at the end there. Right, so do you want to go first, or I think you should go first. I think we should really build the tension about how awesome mine is.
Okay, I will pick my vehicle up and
give us a walkthrough of your vehicle first before, and then we'll do the race.
Okay.
Yeah.
A walkthrough of my vehicle. Essentially, it turns out you can only attach a maximum of 5 bearings to an engine. So in order to mount all 6 wheels, I have had to incorporate 2 engines.
Oh, I see. You were going for a 5-wheel drive car.
No, because the wheel that isn't attached to a bearing and an engine will actually not turn. The bearing will stick and slow the vehicle down. I have discovered this through the little bit of play that I did last night that I wasn't going to admit to.
If you have a bearing that isn't attached to an engine, you get friction.
Yes. Yeah, if the bearing isn't attached to an engine, it can't spin and you get friction.
Okay.
So I'm going to put my car down here and while I'm doing a practice lap.
No. We are doing this. Okay. So you've got 2 engines. With some nice power settings. You do most of these power settings on these engines are set differently.
Yeah, I will change that as soon as I put it down.
Okay. And you're also using
make sure my power settings
2
are correct.
rockets.
Yeah.
Talk us through your choice of materials for the colour scheme that's going on here.
The materials was what will make it go, and the colour scheme was what will make it go faster.
Now, red, of course.
Yes, of course.
Everything's faster in red, of course.
Everything's faster in red. And then the white wheel walls, the white tyre walls, just because, white tyre walls.
So just hop on a second. Let's just hop on and make sure that we jump on here. Yeah. Make sure we get a nice screenshot of this. I believe it's that button. There we go. All right. It's an interesting design. I see you're using the dual rocket thruster approach as well.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Shall I talk you through my choice now?
Yes, certainly.
Now, I believe this looks like metal.
Yep.
Okay. So the challenge, just to remind everyone, is that we're supposed to be in the air for as long and as far as possible off the end of the ramp. Yeah?
Yes.
So I've chosen a stuffed feather mattress as my base. Okay.
Okay.
And in theory, that feathers help you fly. I then picked some wheels out and shoved them on the side. Now I didn't realise wheels came in different sizes. I guess I should have, because wheels are massive. Okay. I also didn't know, being completely experienced, that engines help wheel bearings. So these are free spinning wheels, and I went for the double rocket because I was going for as light as possible. I didn't want engines and things. And I've also gone, not for the big, thick one you've got, but I've gone for the nice, light motorbike style.
You've gone for the saddle rather than the seat
Yeah.
with the 5-point harness.
But I want to point something out that I have done, which I noticed you haven't. Why I haven't got much custom painting going on, if you just come into here with me, I think you'll notice there's some underlighting going on.
There is. That is
Chavved
That
out.
is truly scrumptious.
Yeah.
I'm really quite impressed.
There you go. I thought I got all the important parts done, so even if I lose here, I feel the moral victory is mine.
Right, I'm going to put my death contraption down.
Okay, so I don't know how we're going to do this because I obviously need to press this button. I didn't put a delay on it, and I'm going to run up the other end as well. So this could be interesting.
And
This could be
remove
very
that.
interesting.
The other thing I then need to do is make sure that my 2 engines... Oh, good lord, it's raring to go.
All right.
Oh, good
I'll
lord.
run and then run. And
Yep.
ready. Okay. So for your first run, you have a score of
Of not very far at all.
indeed.
Nope.
Let's just
That has
reset
clearly
that.
not worked.
Let's
I
just
will
reset that.
I will just park this in the
noticed
garage
you
again.
can actually change thrust levels on your...
On your engines, yes.
Right, how does this work? So I press E on this, and I give it a name of... mattress... Oh, I've got an idea for this. What is mattress side.
Ah.
There we go. Right,
Ah.
I put that down
And
there.
there was my mistake.
I hit E, I pick mattress side, I do boom. It's there. And then what do? I press it on that. Why don't I have to go? I'll give it that like that. Okay. Are we ready for this? Are you going to... you manage to press the button for me. Okay. Now, I've also noticed something, and obviously you can't see this, but the my camera can, is that I'm about to knock myself unconscious on the start gate. Because these wheels are a
Okay.
lot bigger than I intended them to be. Also, you may have noticed that there is no steering. Like, if...
Mine doesn't steer. The
Okay.
aim was to get it to go in a straight line.
Perfectly straight line. I've also just
even if
noticed...
torque does
I've
not
also
agree with that.
just noticed something, and do you forgive me if I make a very, very quick change to my building?
I have made changes
Okay.
before my first run, so you may too.
Okay,
I
okay.
had to
because
change
I just
my engine
noticed why it
settings.
might be going off to one side, which is that one of my engines wasn't in the middle. Right, okay, we're ready to go.
Right.
Yeah.
So I press E on this switch and
Press E.
bing, bing, bing.
Ah, oh, I didn't wire the engine up. Oh.
Oh, good lord.
Okay, so we're going to... let's... that never happened. Because I just took that engine off, didn't I?
And then you didn't wire it in.
Then wire it back in again.
Oh
Also,
lord.
I've just
Okay.
realised there's a hole in the floor, so...
How do you rewire or reset this switch system?
I just press it, turn it off. Just click turn it off. I realise I want to get rid of the headlight. I want to use...
And it fully resets itself.
Yeah, it's not exactly like okay. For the viewers at home who haven't seen the incredible amount of time I made putting this logic, I had a much more complicated flip-flop design. I realised that I didn't need to. I could just use a switch rather than... I had a button. You click the button and I had to flip-flop to keep it turned on. I realised I could just use a switch. So I was being a bit of an idiot. Me being an idiot.
Right.
Oh, I'm just taking this. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh.
Oh,
Quick, hide
God,
the
oh,
evidence. There was just a
Oh,
duck there.
I'll let you dispose of the evidence while I just quickly set up for my next
Okay.
run.
Run number 2. Let me just change this wheel over here as well.
So it would help if I get it facing in the right direction before I put it down. Okay.
I feel like I should have put... like, I'm not going to... I don't think we should be allowed to radically change it. Just tweak at this point.
Yes.
But I am going to actually wire that up.
Right. I will await your readiness, sir.
I'm not sure that I've done this right. I'm going to put that down over there. done that wrong.
1, 2,
Right.
3,
Ready?
4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes,
Not even
I
that,
hope. Oh God. Yes, I think.
Okay, deep breaths. Deep breaths. There should be a crash hammer in this.
Yeah. Oh, good lord! Oh God, it doesn't stop.
Do you have not a stop button? What have you done?
That. Well, when it goes, it really goes.
That is impressive. That is impressive. Whilst you are resetting, I'm just going to. When you launch, do you take out bits of the floor?
I've almost managed to bring it back. Just gonna pick the whole thing up and carry it back, and put it back down on its lift, and.
Right. Okay, this is attempt number 2 for me.
Yes.
Okay, we're ready.
And I will.
We should actually hold on. Before I do this, we should agree a maximum number of attempts before we both like.
Should we say 3 best of 3 each?
Yes.
Okay. Another one each.
We may want to extend that to 5, but yeah, okay. No,
Okay.
I get this one and another one because it's my second attempt. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay, right. Okay, right. Okay, I'm ready.
Bleep, 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 bleep. Oh, good lord! Oh, I've just been stomped. Quite liberally.
Oh, I rolled a bit. I'm sorry. I tried to get out, but I'm still stood on top. So I think it was about here.
I think that's probably fair.
Okay, I'll just put that there. Okay.
Okay.
I
So
think that's roughly where I came off. That is a fair distance. That is you know what? That is a lot further. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab, instead of putting up row of bricks, I'm going to grab a death sign for me, or a welcome. Beware farm box. I'm going to use a welcome sign on the floor, so we can really just know. There we go. Because then you won't accidentally crash into that as easily as a.
Yeah.
That is quite impressive. I am so happy that we agreed 3 attempts there.
Yes, because now I've got one last attempt to try and beat you.
And in theory, like yours is. But obviously, I think yours is going to be faster. But I think building it out of.
Yeah, I suspect I may have done myself a serious disservice by building it from structural steel. Still, these challenges are sent to. No!
Oh, so close, so close, so close, and yet so very, very, very far off. All
Has
right.
this thing got steering? Can I get you on the way back? This is the question. Nope. Oh god, no steering.
All right. I'm wondering, should I tweak anything this time? I think I'm going to try to fly. I'm going to put it as far back as possible, just to give myself those extra few millimeters of. I'm feeling kind of like Okay. Okay. Are we ready now? And breathe calmly and just know that I'm going to win with every fibre of my body. And I'm a really gracious winner, as you can see.
I can tell. Bleep,
Oh.
bleep, bleep, bleep. What on earth is that?
Right there. Read it and weep. Right.
I think you're going to have to build a buggy to come and find the mark.
I am so far away from you, I cannot even see the distance.
I think this actually warrants the manufacturing of a special tower.
I am going to take that ducky and I'm going to move it.
What did you do?
Did you not see what I did? Okay, but they're rockets, so whenever it's... I mean, you'll see it on the replay, obviously. But whenever it's pointing upwards, I hit accelerate. So it's a rocket. We could actually build Kerbal Space Program in here.
Oh.
That's what I did. That there is because I hit E, the amount I landed, it sort of fell off. So that is where it landed. I have not moved that at all. The video evidence will prove me that I will take the highest of 5s. And
I don't even know if I could drive out to you at this point.
I'm sprinting this distance here, is the thing.
Well, that was your previous landing. You more than doubled your previous record.
What I did there by accident was, it turns itself upside down, and I accelerated myself towards the floor on the previous landing. Would you like one go for a moral victory? One last, or shall we? The next thing we should do is try and steer each other's.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure how the game will cope with us borrowing one another's inventions.
Just pick your. Yeah. Okay. So I can pick that up. I'll go first.
Okay.
To see whether it's driver skill or. Okay, it's not quite in the middle, but okay. Let's go. It's just Oh! You know what? I'm sure it's torque. That is that is like. If you grab mine now and do I? Yeah.
Okay. Right. So it's torque, we think.
Yes. Well, mine doesn't have the motors, so mine just goes dead straight.
Right. Okay.
In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to.
This feels very uncomfortable. This is basically just a mattress with jet engines attached.
It's basically
3.
No, wait, let me see if I can get into a nice. Okay, let's do it.
2, 1. Oh God!
Stop flying! You see, if you fire it when it's going upwards, you go further. How awesome it is!
That's unbelievable. And now I want to take the engines off of mine.
Give another go. Bring it back.
Crack more rockets to it. Where did I leave
before we head into tinkering and having a bit of fun, let us have the ceremonial.
The ceremonial placing of the rubber duck, which means you're moving it all of about 2 foot. Not that I'm a gracious loser or anything.
You don't come across as one. Anyway, we might have to keep the vehicles in like a winning area somewhere. Yeah, see, we keep losing bits of the floor. I think, like, if I had any comments on this game, like, I'm having a lot of fun already, and thank you so much. It would be nice if we could lock structures.
I'm sure there probably is a means of doing that. I think the problem is that you and I have just kind of jumped in and been like, look at everything we can build, and not really stopped to read the manual for even
the great rubber ducky is going here.
2 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, literally threw that away. I think, yes, again, we've managed to prove the trained engineer, and I have to say that I am actually being a little bit sarcastic. I am not a mechanical engineer. And I spent all the 30 seconds putting this together, really to rub it in at this point. But I think the problem is torque on your engines. Like this is going to be interesting, and obviously underlighting. So the reason my first one didn't work, was these weren't in line. So I also wonder if you were to put your jets vertical or something, like really make sure they're in the middle, because
yes,
and they're not on full power. Let me just put these. Let me just fix these for you. There you go. See, I reckon this will go fast now, but not as fast
as yours,
because they're not made of mattresses.
Well, I
I think go for it.
Yeah.
If this works magically, I'm going to be
smug mode.
No, if it works, I'm going to be really happy for you. But we've learnt. And the other thing I'm really weird is that these things don't quite line up. I'm not quite sure. I think it's because they're on blocks. So I'm going to go away and look up a bit more about some of these things. And
yeah, that sort of makes sense.
We found out things like even though oh dear, I just did that one. They have to be sort of built together for wiring to work. I'm a little bit disappointed that the wiring doesn't have to use actual wires. But I understand why when you're building cars and things like that. But,
yeah. Well, that was always one of the biggest problems with the other sandbox game that we play.
You say it's one of the biggest problems. I found it to be incredibly rewarding when you successfully got it working. But I agree with you. It wasn't,
but
it wasn't
you lay two paths of what's it called, redstone together, and they cross one another. They cross wire one another.
And it was something very nice when you used wool to colour code your different wiring and stuff. So I agree with you. This will allow a lot more people to play the game.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if this will.
Hi
what
ho,
I'm going to do is
silver.
Go for it. I'll move.
I actually have no movement whatsoever.
Did you
bear
get
with
to
me.
wire up your...
Yeah, I think I must have knocked. Yeah, I have. I've knocked the wires out accidentally.
This ramp was quite fun to build. We built it sort of up and across, then took one row of bricks out so it would fail. The gravity was excellent. And then we used the hammer. We worked out what the hammer was for, to hammer this back into place.
Yeah.
And then locked it in with these building blocks. Of course, our logo looking beautiful there as ever. Okay.
Okay, let's try that again.
I think at that we shall finish this episode with the moral victory and the actual victory still mine. I've been Dansan, he's been Oldboy, we are the Wootaboots as always, and we will see you next time.
Good night, folks.